I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and on this episode of The Haul, we're prepping this brand new F-250 for the next family adventure and hauling that brand new camper. Guys, check out this awesome piece of American iron behind me. Well, more like aluminum and steel, but you get the point, right? Now, this brand new 7.3 gasser actually belongs to my buddy Chris here at AmericanTrucks.com, and he recently picked this thing up for the sole purposes of being the family hauler, but also towing that massive 44-foot camper you guys saw at the very top of this video. So Chris has been stockpiling parts for this rig, basically waiting for it to get delivered. Well, it's here. He just dumped all the parts onto our lap and basically said, have fun. So the parts that Chris has picked out for his rig include some stuff that will help keep it a bit cleaner, both inside and out, keep it a little bit more functional, obviously make it look a lot better, and last but not least, improve on the already impressive towing capability of the mighty 250. Guys, we hope you enjoy this content. We certainly love bringing it to you, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. But what do you say we check out more of Chris's parts? We're kicking things off with some protection and a little bit of convenience here with Chris's build, thanks to a couple of parts from WeatherTech. Now up front, we have their brand new HP floor liner. This is the next generation of liner from WeatherTech. I love these things. Listen, their old liner was great, change the game, no doubt, but I had two small gripes, one of which the material was a little bit rigid, and once that material got wet, it got very slick. That's not the case here at the HP liner. They've thickened things up, and the material's changed a little bit. Kind of feels a little bit more rubbery now, which means you're gonna have a lot more traction if and when the mat itself does get a bit wet. Now, outside of that, they've also tweaked the design a little bit. They've raised those edges on all four sides, and they've added reservoirs. This is very important, right? That way, when things do get wet, your shoes, your boots aren't sitting in that junk. Instead, they're raised up nice and dry. So I really like that design, and of course, they fit great. But Chris has kids, right? Two of them to be exact, so he wanted to make sure we're adding that same protection to the rear of the truck. And there you go, matching HP liner for the rear. So this is gonna keep these brand new F-250 carpets looking like new and keeping all that juice, Cheerios, Play-Doh, whatever, off the carpet and onto the liners. Best part is, once that stuff does inevitably get on the liners, yank them out, hose them off, throw them back in, and you're good to go. Outside of that, classic WeatherTech, right? Laser measured, made here in the USA from recyclable materials. Our second part from WeatherTech, don't have to go too far, we have their wind deflectors for both the rear and also the front. Now that's a really nice set, just over $100 here for both front and rear, and I love these things, man. Listen, I've handled pretty much every window deflector you can think about here on the site, and these are great because they fit awesome and without really any materials holding them in place. There's no 3M tape, there's nothing crazy holding them in place. Instead, they mount in the window channel itself using a small clip on the driver's side window and then two small clips here on the rear passenger side stuff, and that's it. They fit great and they don't fall out. Outside of looking cool, they also do serve a purpose, of course. You can leave your windows cracked a little bit while driving in the rain or whatever, air out the cab, get some fresh air without getting a bunch of wind noise, rain, or excess wind in the cab, kind of disturbing the whole family. So there you go, off to a good start with, again, a couple of killer parts from WeatherTech, adding a lot more protection for the interior and also a little bit of convenience with those deflectors. You know, we're actually gonna stick with one more protection mod before we move on, and if you didn't look close enough when we were talking about the liners, you might have missed it. What you're looking at here is the Tough Liners, basically protecting an otherwise forgotten about area, your door sill. I know a lot of guys out there probably don't think about protecting something like this, but if you've owned a truck before, you know the deal, right? This thing gets trashed over years of use. This is gonna clean up an area and protect it for many years to come. Made in the USA from the Tough Liner material, very similar to a bed liner. I like that. Certainly gives it a rugged look. It also gives you the officially licensed Super Duty logo shown here in gray, but you can also grab them on the site in red, blue, or white, depending on what color truck you have. We got a matching set of 4 on Chris's truck to handle the abuse over the years. And again, I just like them because they add a little customization and protection at the same time. So up next, guys, we have our one and only appearance mod for this build. So let's check that out now. Now, Chris is definitely a less is more type of guy when we're talking appearance. So when we were talking about maybe different ways to change up the style or attitude of the truck, he said, listen, man, I just want a new set of wheels and that's it. That's exactly what we're looking at right now, guys. These are the Fuel Maverick wheels, 18x9 plus 1mm offset, obviously 8 lug here for the Super Duty, but with the milled finish. I really like this look with the silver truck. I think it looks very sharp, a whole lot better than those Chrome FX4 wheels. Now, wrapped around those wheels are Chris's stock tires. This is a Goodyear Wrangler. It's a 275/70 R18 with the Kevlar. And this is something that I think an avenue that truck owners don't often consider, and that is getting a new set of wheels, but sticking with your stock tires. Case in point, Chris's truck is brand new, man. These are really nice tires. So rather than throw these things in the garage for 10 years to collect dust, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna grab a wheel that I know will work with my stock tires, and I'm gonna spend the money somewhere else instead of buying another $1,000 set of tires. But let's talk about how that +1mm offset is going to affect Chris's stance here, because it is a subtle difference and it is something that Chris did his homework on, and as a result, he absolutely nailed it. +1mm offset is going to deliver the perfect flush stance here with the Super Duty with the 18x9 in place. He didn't want a lot of poke because inevitably that might look cool to some guys out there, but it just trashes the side of the truck. And at the same time, he didn't want that factory fitment where the wheels and tires are kind of sucked into the wheel well. So the +1mm offset, neutral, 0 offset, that is the perfect ballpark to be in if you're looking to nail that flush fitment like Chris did. And ultimately, the small change in offset along with the different wheel really does wonders for changing the entire attitude of the truck in general. So up next, guys, we have one more part to keep things a little bit cleaner, but not in the way that you're thinking. Now, when we're talking about keeping things a bit cleaner, in this case, we're talking about the inside of Chris's engine, thanks to our next part from JLT, their 3.0 oil separator for the passenger side for the 7.3 and 6.2 gasser engine. Now, if you've seen any of my previous videos for the F-150, you know I'm really high on these things, oil separators or catch cans in general, because of the job they perform. They're gonna capture and isolate all that oily junk, that blow by, from getting rerouted into your intake manifold through your truck's PCV system. Now, this is really bad on direct injected motors, right? The lack of the port injector to clean off the backside of those valves can lead to coking, which is why I really recommend these for some of your early EcoBoost applications. And while yes, I know the 7.3 is a port injected engine, it still is going to come into play because, again, it's gonna keep all that oily junk from being rerouted back into your intake manifold and just gumming things up over its lifespan. As far as build quality, listen, it's solid, right? Billet aluminum construction here, you're looking at the black option. They do also offer a silver one on the site. Factory style hoses and connections means a very easy install for you guys at home. And just over 300 bucks, this is easy insurance to make sure that your Godzilla engine is gonna stay nice and clean for many years to come. Now we made it this far in the video and we're finally talking about our first towing mod. Let's break it down, guys. What you're looking at in there is the Timberin SES, or Suspension Enhancement System. And I cannot recommend this mod enough for guys out there like Chris who are gonna be towing or hauling heavy and often. Now what this guy is gonna do is replace your factory joust stop, which is this piece of foam right here in bracket, and basically make for a much more stable, much smoother experience while towing. And more importantly, it's gonna greatly reduce that rear end sag when, again, towing or hauling heavy. Now these factory joust stops, sure, they do the job. It's kind of a last line of defense against bottoming out your suspension here, slamming that frame rail down onto your rear axle, causing a terrible bounce or jump. On the other hand, now with the Timberin in place, this guy is like a helper spring. It's basically a rubber spring that's gonna greatly control not only the compression, but more importantly, the rebounds. This is really gonna slow that down and control it and make for a much smoother ride while also reducing sway at the same time. Super easy to install, about 5 minutes here thanks to these two 15mm nuts. Very affordable, about 250 bucks, and 0 maintenance. Lifetime warranty, I mean, it's basically a hunk of rubber. You put it on, you forget about it, and you're on your way towing with a lot happier of a truck, believe me. And this is one thing I know Chris was excited about, and with it in place, his 250, which is already pretty stout, should be a lot happier in the process. Inside the truck, we have another mod Chris is really excited about because he's a gadget guy. I get it, I'm one too. And he wanted something he can mess around with while driving, but more importantly, he wants to eliminate the throttle lag caused by Ford's drive-by-wire system. And well, what you're looking at here is the Pedal Commander. Now, these throttle control devices and all that stuff have been all the rage in the last couple of years. You guys know the deal, right? You go to hit the pedal, nothing happens, and then finally the truck wants to go. Well, that's why these little guys exist. They basically eliminate the throttle lag by increasing the voltage to your truck's PCM through the throttle cable or throttle device. Now, this one in particular does offer 4 different modes. You have Eco, City, Sport, and Sport Plus. and each mode has 9 individual levels of adjustment, so 36 levels altogether. The nice thing about this guy, very easy to install. Again, a few minutes tops, plugs into your throttle pedal. We have it mounted here next to Chris's steering wheel. Looks killer, but if you ever wanted to hide this guy, maybe you're just not a fan of it for whatever reason, they have a really attractive app that you can download for both Apple and Android devices that also works seamlessly. So overall, again, a really fun mod to mess around with for all of you gadget guys out there, and more importantly, guys who just hate that throttle lag caused by your drive-by-wire system. 2 more parts to go here with Chris's build, both of which are in this general vicinity, but what do you say we start with the one you guys can see first? This is the Proving Ground low profile, hard folding tonneau cover. Yes, that's a mouthful, but I am a really big fan of hard covers in general because ultimately they're gonna provide you guys with the most security for your cargo, whether it be from thieves or just the basic elements. Now, sure, you can get a soft cover, rolling cover, so forth, but those guys can easily be defeated with a knife. Hard covers, on the other hand, a lot more difficult to defeat. Now, on top of that, the Proving Ground here is going to be one of your most affordable options. We're talking about aluminum panel, foam core design with the black powder coat at just north of $700 for the 6 3/4 bed option. So a very affordable option for guys out there looking for the utmost in security. But let's show you how this thing works. It's a folding cover, easily the most popular design in the category. Obviously, you're just going to drop your tailgate, grab your cable, and at this point, we're just folding until we get to our very last panel here, which we can secure in this location thanks to the included straps and buckles. Now, this leads me to probably my one and only con here with the Proving Ground cover, and that is the fact that this is pretty much all you get. Some covers out there will actually fold up and against that rear window and secure in that location. That's not going to be the case here with the Proving Ground. Instead, it locks in this location. Now, you can remove the entire cover if you needed to pretty easily thanks to the screw design. But for Chris's situation, it's perfect, right? Because it unveils just enough to see our final modification here, our 5th wheel hitch, which we're about to show you how to use right now. So I'm looking to tow a 44-foot, 14,000-pound camper. This is really the safest and best way to do so. You certainly don't want to be bumper pulling this thing. So Curt and their 5th wheel hitch was the right call. Now, luckily for us, Chris's truck was equipped with Ford's towing prep package, which does have the puck system already in place, meaning the slider and the head dropped right in easily, albeit rather heavily. This thing is not light, guys. It's over 300 pounds combined, but it's built like a tank. You have a 24,000-pound slider here, which is nice because Chris's truck is equipped with a short 6 3/4 foot bed. So you're still locating the kingpin here in front of that rear axle. It's going to be a lot more stable that way. But when it comes time for tight maneuvers, you can slide the actual hitch back 12 inches, and that will allow for some of the tight turns without having the camper impact the cab. Built like a tank, again, 16,000-pound capacity head here. It's a really nice and probably the easiest way to hook something like this up, as we're about to show you right now. Now, in order to prep our hitch here for receiving the kingpin, we do need to open up these jaws first. So in order to do so, we'll release our cotter pin, pull up, and we're gonna pull and slide, and there we go. We're ready to accept our kingpin. Say hold that. You just want to eyeball it real quick. All right, guys, well, Chris has maneuvered his truck back here. As you can see, we're about ready to make contact with the kingpin and our hitch. Looks like everything's lined up at this point, so we're gonna go ahead and give Chris a thumbs up, and he's gonna go on back and see how we look. Sounds like he's in, so let's take a quick look. Oh yeah, we're green, baby. Well, guys, we have our trailer plugged into the bed here. Last but not least, we had to do our breakaway hitch or breakaway brake. Get that hooked up into our cotter pin. We're good to go. Well, there you have it, guys. Pretty easy hookup. This is easily a one-person job. Obviously, you got to make your electrical connections and so forth, but we're pretty much ready to rock and roll here with the Curt 5th wheel hitch. And in my experience, compared to hooking up a trailer or a bumper pull trailer, certainly a lot easier and a lot less sweat at the end of the day. So we're good. It works as it should. And bonus, we can still leave our Proving Ground tonneau cover in place. Well, with the camper fully locked in there and our rear end suffering from a lot less sag thanks to that Timbren, I'd say Chris and his family are ready for the next adventure wherever the road may take them. Guys, this was a fun build thanks to a bunch of parts that helped make Chris's truck a little bit more functional, a little bit cleaner, definitely a little better looking, and then finally, much more capable when it comes to towing. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. But in the meantime, for all things Super Duty and camping, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.